There we go. We're recording. All right. So for props today, the only thing you would need is something like a block or 2 blocks. So something like that. So you could have a couple of heavy books or something like a stiff pillow, or a couple big cans of canned goods or something like that. Not absolutely necessary, but would be helpful. So for today, we will get started. So I'm just going to start up here while I get to talk you through some centering, and then I'll move back to my chair. So as always, if you have any questions, please just unmute yourself. You will be recorded, or you can write in the chat if you don't want to be recorded. So there's one other thing I was going to say, and it's gone. So maybe it'll come back. So wherever you happen to be, let's find a nice comfortable seat. Think about allowing the sits bones to connect with the chair. So sometimes I like to kind of scooch from side to side, maybe even moving the flesh of my bum around so that I feel like the bony part of my pelvis is making more connection with the chair. And sometimes for me, that allows me to sit up a little bit taller, but sit up as tall as you can. Nice tall spine. Pardon my cat meowing here. And then either close your eyes or set a soft gaze at an object in the room, or just kind of make your gaze fuzzy. And we'll start to arrive in our space. Think about letting your feet connect with the floor as well. So we're connecting on the floor, we're connecting with the seat, making 2 points of contact. And allow those points of contact to make you feel supported and grounded. And then allowing yourself to arrive, allowing yourself to feel into this space. Maybe scanning your body. You could start at your feet and move up toward your head, or vice versa. But as you scan your body, just notice physical sensations. Noticing any spaces of tightness or gripping, or maybe buzzing or open, or anything else that pops into mind. And see if you can notice those places without attaching judgment or attaching a story. Allowing whatever to come in, acknowledging it, and then letting it go, coming back to the sensations, back to your chair, back to the connection with the floor. And now let's just start to notice the breath. And if at any point that feels uncomfortable, you could always come back to that connection with the chair and the floor. So noticing the movement of breath right at the tip of your nose. And see how it would feel to take a little bit deeper breath. So instead of having the breath maybe come just into the chest, see if you can press that breath also into your belly, all the way down. So you're filling your lungs up completely. And that deeper breath might require a slowing down of your breath. So see what it feels like to deepen and slow your inhales and your exhales. Moving in through your nose, filling your lungs, feeling your belly expand. And then slowly feeling your belly deflate. And your breath moving slowly out your nose. Attempting at equal lengths of inhale and exhale, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Notice the transitions between your inhale and exhale and see how you might be able to smooth those out, creating a smooth flow of breath, a cycle of breath. Noticing now how you've cultivated this deep, full cycle of breath, noticing the effect that this breathing has on your mental state, on how you arrived here. From a few minutes ago before you began to now at this point, how are you feeling? Just check in with yourself. There's no right answer. And I just invite you as we go through our practice today to cultivate that feeling of checking in, that noticing of your mental state, of your mind, and of the physical body. Different places that may feel physical sensations that you started with. Notice if they change or stay the same. So it's just a constant practice of being aware, noticing, but trying to do all of this without judgment. So we'll begin to bring some movement into your body. We'll start to maybe just start with your toes. Wiggle your toes, and I'm going to move that movement up my body, starting at my toes, moving into my feet, my ankles, into my lower legs, into my knees and my upper legs, into my hips, into my fingers, hands, wrists, arms, shoulders, neck, and head. And then coming back to stillness, and you can either keep your eyes closed or flutter them open, whatever feels best. We'll start to move the head and neck. So inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, looking down. Remembering that you can pause whenever you want to. So if it feels good to keep looking up for a moment, stretching the front of the throat and into the chin, you can do that. Or if it feels good to pause, looking down. Move with your breath, pay attention to what you need. A little dreary this morning. All right, let's come back to center and do the same, looking up left and right, over the shoulder, moving with your breath. So an inhale swings you around to one side and an exhale swings you to the other. Maybe pausing and taking a couple breaths over one shoulder. And then make your way back to center. Take your left ear and drop it toward your left shoulder. Maybe this is plenty of stretch. Maybe you'd like to add. So you could take your hand and rest it on top of your head. You could be here. You could also add a stretch with the opposite hand, noticing where it would feel good to stretch it out. Still thinking about a tall spine, as long as we stay away from pain. Nice big breaths. So still seeing if you can notice the breath in your belly. One more breath. And then if you have used your hands, release those, bring your head back up. Sit up nice and tall, and we'll switch to the other side. So maybe this is plenty of stretch, but maybe you want to add on, just setting your hand on top of your head, maybe stretching out with the other hand. And breathing. One more breath. And then release your hands, lift your head, and just do some very small and very gentle neck circles. Always staying away from pain. Switch directions. Don't drop your head back too far, just enough to get into the stretch. And come back to center. Let's roll the shoulders. Linking your breath again, inhaling and exhaling. Keep moving with your shoulders. And then go ahead and switch directions with your shoulders. Notice the movement, not just your shoulders, but into your chest, into your shoulder blades. If you feel any popping, like I just did. Good, and come back to center. Let's find a gentle twist. Just a little flowing twist to begin with. So either pick your hands heart center or holding a ball or cactus. Today I'm going to do cactus, I think. And you want to think about moving from your obliques. So right below your ribs is where you'll turn from, not from your shoulders. So think about turning from here. So sit up nice and tall again, tall spine, inhale, and exhale, twist. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Inhale, center. So move at your own pace. The exhale twists you, the inhale brings you back to center. Couple more. As always, trying to move the spine in all the directions. One more on each side. And then release your hands as you come back to center. Let's do some cat-cows. Hands on your legs. We'll do this standing as well in a few minutes, but starting here, hands on your legs. Allow your hands to slide up and down. So soften your belly first. Soften, allow your belly, allow your lungs to fill up as you arch your back. Draw your shoulder blades together. Lift your chest, look up. Exhale, slide your hands down towards your knees, round your back, draw your belly button towards your spine, look down. And inhale, move in the opposite direction. So go ahead and move at your own pace. You don't have to go with me. Notice how it feels. And notice how it feels as you do it. So as you move, maybe you start to warm up, lubricate the spine. Maybe it gets a little bit easier to move. If you want to, you can add your arms. You can reach out and then forward, or you could reach up and then down. Still moving your spine, arching the back, and then rounding. Maybe you don't use your arms at all. Few more breaths. And then work your way back to center, coming back to a tall spine. Let's inhale one more time or one more direction. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lean to one side. You can have a bend in your elbows if that is better for your shoulders. And here we want to also engage the core so we're not tipping forward or backwards, trying to stay kind of upright, but so not forward like this, not back like this. Think about having like a plane of glass in front and behind you, so you're just sliding in between the two. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, the other side. Using your abdominal muscles, engaging them so you're not falling forward or backwards. Come back, inhale to center. We'll do one more on each side. Exhale. Or here, whichever. Look at a wall here. Inhale back up to center. Exhale the other side one more time. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release your hands down. Let's get a little bigger movement. So bring your knees out a little bit wider. We'll come to forward fold, just a little bit of movement. So you don't have to come down super far. Come down as far as you want to. You could rest your forearms on your thighs or reach down further, or you could reach behind you. So inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Maybe your hands come here, or maybe they come behind you, or maybe they go down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Notice in your body how this feels to get things warmed up. Exhale, move at your own pace with your breath. Next time, stay up, release your hands, bring your legs back where they're comfortable. Pause for a moment in our seated Tadasana. So lift and spread your toes. and then slowly lower them down. Think about all four corners of your feet being connected with the floor. So just like if you, all the points where if you were to have roller skates where the wheels would be. And then gently pressing down into the floor, also feeling a lift in the legs. So maybe a gentle engagement in your legs so that, think about, we're trying to lift the kneecaps, or think about trying to kind of split the floor apart with our feet. Lengthen through your tailbone, drop your shoulders back and down, or down and back, whichever makes more sense to you. Lift up through the top of your head. Hands are resting either on your legs, or you could let your hands rest and hang at your sides. You could also bring your palms forward. Some people really enjoy this. It doesn't feel good in my wrists, so that's why I keep my hands here or here. Maybe you close your eyes for a moment, but think about Tadasana. This is mountain pose. So you may think about what that feeling evokes in your body, in your mind. Take another breath. And then flutter your eyes open. All right, this is when we want to grab a block or something like a block. And I'm going to take it up on its highest side here. And we'll come into seated triangle pose. And we'll be doing triangle pose again, but standing, using the chair for support. So this is just the start of kind of getting into it. You can also put your forearm on your thigh here. So if you don't have anything that feels right, also a stool or another smaller chair or another piece of furniture may work. So bring your knees out wide again and find that tall spine. So we'll sit up nice and tall. Inhale, and then we'll exhale, lengthen through the side body. And we'll also think about lengthening through here, but we're going to tip sideways and bring your hand down to your prop. If you don't have a prop, forearm here is okay as well. And then we're going to think about stacking our shoulders. So one shoulder, this shoulder is on top of this shoulder, open up, and then maybe you reach your hands straight up. Palm facing forward. If this is too much for your shoulder, you can put a bend, or you can keep your hand on your waist. Lots of options. But even though you are bent over, think about lengthening through your side body. Breathe here. Also want to think about keeping the opposite hip, so this hip pressed downwards into the chair, so it's not lifting. Good. All right. Your next exhale releases your hand down if it was raised, and then press into your prop. Use your abdominal muscles to bring you back up. Take a pause, sitting up straight. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to move my plant here. Take this. Sit up nice and tall first. Inhale. And then the exhale tips you over. Keep the length here. Bring your forearm to your thigh or to a prop. Maybe start with your hand here. See how that feels, because this side is going to feel different. Maybe you want to bring your arm straight up overhead or keep a bend in your elbow. Whatever feels best. Breathe here. Think about lengthening through your side body. Press that hip, this side, into the chair. Breathe. You can also notice how it would feel to look down towards the floor, towards your hand, forward, or up at your top hand. And just explore and notice, which do you prefer? Maybe one challenges your balance and you want to challenge your balance. Good. All right, one more breath. And then exhale, bring your hand down if it was raised, and then press into the prop, engage your abdominal muscles, bring yourself back up. Pause for a moment, sitting up tall. All right, let us do a little bit for our hips before we stand up. So we'll come into a seated figure four. So bring your legs back to a comfortable place. So either you're going to take your ankle and cross it over your knee. So this is always something in the morning for me, a little bit tight. So maybe you're here, or maybe you have a block or something that you're set your foot on, or another piece of furniture. Wherever you happen to be, find a place where you're comfortable. So doing this, I wanted to scooch forward on my chair. So wherever you are, sit up tall. Maybe you hold onto the back of the chair, that would be comfortable. Maybe set your hands on your legs. You can either sit up tall or take a gentle forward bend wherever you happen to be. Also think about keeping that foot that's crossed over, the foot flex. So not just hanging there, but see if you can flex that. Think about a tall spine. And when I say tall spine, it's as tall as you can do without pain. One more breath. And then let your next inhale bring you up if you are folded forward. And then slowly release the leg down to the ground. Take a moment and notice the difference between your two sides, two hips, two sides of the body. Just noticing. All right, and then switch to the other side, either crossing your ankle over your leg or setting it on something, flexing the foot, sit up tall. Maybe a gentle press, very, very gentle in that knee would feel good, that little extra stretch. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. So either sit up tall here or take a forward bend if you want to. This side I'm going to sit up because this side feels different. Breathing. One more big full round of breath, an inhale and an exhale. And then the next inhale can lift you up if you're bent forward, and then slowly release your leg down. Again, pause. Maybe you'd like to move your hips, rock your knees from side to side, get a little bit into the hips a little more. All right, so the plan is just come up to standing and do some cat-cows with a chair standing. If standing and using the chair doesn't sound good this morning, go back to the seated cat-cows. So we'll do that. You can do that again. But if it feels all right to you, turn so that your chair is facing you. You could also, if you don't want to bend down that far, use the back of your chair. So that's fine as well. It's just going to feel a little bit different. Using the seat of the chair, just because of the angle, is going to be similar to what you would do if you were on your hands and knees on the floor. So facing your chair, either the seat of it or the back, start by standing up tall. And we'll inhale, reach our arms up overhead, and then bend your knees a lot. Nice, strong, flat back, fold forward, and bring your hands to the seat of your chair. So I'm grabbing the outside edges so my wrists don't have very big angles. You could have your hands like this. This might get a little bit tighter for your wrists. So holding like this might be better. Adjust your feet as you need to. We're thinking about having as parallel to the floor of the back as you can if you're down like this. And bending your knees, especially if you have tight hamstrings. So from here, we're going to start doing cat-cow. So soften your belly and arch your back. You might need to bend your knees more. Lift your head. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. So we're arching the back. And then exhale, bring your belly button toward your spine, drop your head, drop your tailbone to arch. So this might be a very small movement. It doesn't have to be very big, but moving between the arching of the back and so arching, I should say, and rounding. Inhale as you soften the belly. Exhale as you round and draw your belly button up. Move with your own breath and your own pace. And then let's come back to neutral. So come back to that neutral spine. And so here, if you want to, we'll take a little bit bigger of a forward fold to stretch out the lower back. So regardless of if you're using the seat of the chair or the back of the chair, bend your knees as much as you need to and let yourself come forward. Use the chair for support. If you're sitting on the chair, come into a forward fold. So we're bending the knees, folding forward, using the chair for support. So being aware of how we're feeling, if this is causing any dizziness or any lightheadedness, always slowly coming out of it, not staying. Breathing. I like to take my feet a little wider too. It just gives me more room to breathe in my body. Let the top of your head point towards the seat of the chair, towards the floor. And when you're ready, inhale, come back up, coming to a parallel spine, parallel to the floor again. And from here, we'll do a version of spinal balance. So I'm going to start by taking my left foot and stepping it back behind me. So I might have to arrange my other foot to make sure I feel nice and supported. I'm just going to step with my toe behind me. So I can put weight on both my toe and my front foot. So today I don't have my mat beneath my chair because I left it in my car from last night. I didn't realize till the last second. But try to make sure that your chair is not moving, either it's on a mat or carpet or against a wall. So from here, you can either stay like this, or you can play around with lifting your foot, keeping your toe pointed towards the ground. Another addition could be opposite hand. So if your left leg is out, your right hand could come forward towards the back of the chair. See, I'm tenting my fingers, I'm stretching. So I'm stretching my left leg back and my right arm forward. So you could be here, you could lift your back leg, you could also lift your front arm, either letting it rest on the chair or holding it. Whichever you feel like, all the variations. I'm going to stay here for right now, just because my chair is sliding. So do as I say, not as I do. Take another breath. We're using our abdominal muscles here. And remember, you can come out before I say so. But when you're ready, exhale, release, come back to our start point. At any point you want to lift up and roll out your wrists or anything like that, please do so. When you're ready, come back. And we'll do the other side. So adjusting your standing leg and then sending the other leg behind you. Notice what's behind you. Again, as soon as I say. So maybe you're here. Maybe you stretch out the left arm, tenting your fingers and setting them here. Maybe you lift your leg. Or maybe you just play around with lifting your leg a little bit and then lowering it. Maybe you lift the left arm. So this is a place where you can play and practice with balance, with strength. Lots of variations. Keep breathing. When you're ready, release your hand and then your foot. Coming back to this position here. And then pressing into the chair. Bend your knees as much as you need to. We'll inhale to come up. Nice and strong and slow. Inhale all the way up. Exhale your hands through heart center. Bring your hands back down. Take a pause in a standing Tadasana. So think about those four corners of the feet again. Your feet are about hip distance apart. If that's uncomfortable, adjusting for comfort. And then lengthening through your spine. Shoulders are back and down. And lift up through the top of your head. You can also be here seated, breathing. All right. Go ahead and flutter your eyes open if they were closed, and we'll come to a triangle from a standing position. So turn sideways so that the chair is beside you. And then we'll take a wider stance, just as wide as is comfortable. And the foot that's closest to the chair, turn towards the chair. So 90 degrees, it'll probably be underneath the chair. That's about where we want it to be. So hands come to your waist to start. And you can adjust the width of your feet as you're comfortable. So I'm going to stand up nice and tall. And to begin with, I'm just going to pop this hip backwards. So that's my back foot and that's my front foot. So I'm going to pop my hip towards the back foot and then come back to center, just so we can play around with that movement a little bit. So pop the hip, both legs are straight. Also trying not to lock your knees. All right, come back one time and we'll do a final pop like this. And then stretch your arms out and reach out. You can, or just one arm, reach, reach, reach. And then once you've reached as far as you can go, lower your hand to your chair. If the chair is a little too low, you can always put something on the chair to raise it up. You just don't want to feel like you're falling over. So just like we did triangle trikonasana on the chair, think about lengthening through your side body, both sides. Your legs stay straight. Shoulders are stacked, one over the other. And then your top arm could either stay where it's at on your waist. You could reach your hand straight up or put a bend in your elbow. Just think about these two, your shoulders are stacked on each other. So Trikonasana, triangle pose. Breathing. Remember, you don't have to hold it, or you can hold and come out and come back in, or you can hold longer if that's what you want to do. Exhale the hand down if it's raised. And now we're just going to play one more time with a half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. So here, I'm just adjusting my front foot a little bit. And I'm going to move my hand so it's back further on the chair. And then bend my front knee. And I'm going to think about starting to lift my back foot off the ground. Maybe I just come up on my toe. Maybe that's where I want to be. And then come back down. Come up on my toe, use the chair, come back down. Maybe I start to lift it. Depending on how you're feeling today. This is just to play and to practice. Maybe you're just up on the toe and back down. Maybe you want to come up. Just a couple movements here. And then when you're done, lower that foot down. And let's just turn so our whole body is facing. Step your foot in again. So we'll come to that forward fold to release everything. Bend your knees, round your back, release the lower back. Breathe. And then when you're ready, press into your chair, use the chair. Bend your knees, inhale, come all the way up. Hands to your heart center. And release. Excellent. So you can just turn around if you want to, but I'm going to turn this so you can still see me. All right, so with the chair to your other side, take your wider stance. Take this front foot and turn it 90 degrees. So it's underneath the chair. Bring your hands to your waist. Lift up nice and tall. Let's pop this hip back towards the back foot. Keep both the knees straight but not locked. So when I say not locked, you want to think about there's muscle and tendons holding the knee where it is. You're not just having bone on bone press. So if you look at my front knee, hopefully you can see it a little bit. Right here, I have a tiny bend. If I do this, that's where it's hyperextended. So tiny bend. So we're strengthening those muscles around the knee. So come back. One more pop. Pop to the back. Reach out with the front arm. Reach, reach, reach. And as you reach as far as you can go, drop your hands to the chair. And maybe this side feels different. Maybe you need a block here like you didn't before, or vice versa. Shoulders are stacked one on top of the other. Open up through the chest. So your chest is pointing into the room, not down. All right. Inhale, you can keep your arm here, or you could reach it straight up, or put a bend in your elbow. So options. You can also, another option is to bring your hand behind your back if that's comfortable. So breathe here, and you don't have to hold it long, or you can hold it longer. Breathing. Good. Exhale your hand down to your waist. And here's where we'll play with Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So I'm going to scooch this foot back just a little bit. I'm going to move my hand forward or back on the chair. And then maybe I'll bend my front knee and start to come up on the toe. And maybe that's right where I play, right there. And maybe one side is easier than the other. I always find one side of my body I balance much better than the other. So just play around with that. Maybe you stay up on the toe. Good. When you're ready, release the top arm back down to the chair. So keep a bend in your front knee. And then step your back foot forward so that you're facing your chair again. And we'll do a counter stretch or forward fold. Round forward as far as you want to go. Release the low back. And if you're standing and if you want to take a bigger stretch, you can do a downward facing dog. So you just step back further and lengthen through your hands and your arms and send your hips back. Keep a bend in your knees because we're looking for a long spine. When you're ready, look up. Use the chair for support. Step forward. Bend your knees. Look up. Inhale. All the way up. And exhale. Hands to heart center. Release your hands. Let's come back to our seats. So go ahead and move so that you find your comfortable seat again. And let's just take a pause. Sitting in your chair. And right now, if there's a movement that your body wants to make, so if you want to do a torso circle, if you want to do a forward bend here, if you'd like to bring your knee up, do some movement that your body wants that would feel good after what we just did standing. I'm going to take some torso circles. Just make sure you go in both directions if you're doing something like that. All right. With your blocks or a piece of furniture or something, we'll come into our seated Baddha Konasana, butterfly, or cobbler's pose. So I'm just going to set both of my blocks here. You could have stiff pillows. You could sit closer to a piece of furniture. But wherever you want to be, bring your feet up. So you're resting on the outside edge of your feet and your soles of your feet are coming together. Your knees are resting out. Scooch forward maybe toward your chair to feel more comfortable. Let your hands rest on your body and your legs somewhere. And either sit up tall here, or if it would feel good, drop your chin toward your chest. Whatever feels good, but find your breath. Come back to noticing the movement of air right at the tip of your nose. Check in with your body. Maybe you just did something you haven't done before, or you haven't done in a long time. Maybe it was something that you have done before. Just notice how you feel. Trying not to bring judgment in. Deepen your breath and lengthen your breath. Let's take 3 more full rounds of breath right here. Then when you're ready, lift your head if it was lowered. Bring your knees back in, maybe use your hands. Set your feet on the ground. And we'll do one final pose before we come to our final relaxation. We'll come into a seated twist. So turn to the side so that the back of the chair is alongside of you. You can rest your hand on it. Sit up tall first. So lengthen through the top of your spine. Inhale. And then exhale, twist towards the back of the chair. I'll move my flesh out of the way to allow myself to twist. Use the back of your chair for leverage. Keep sitting up tall. Inhale. And exhale. The inhale can come on as you lengthen and sit up taller. And if you want to, you can take a little deeper twist on the next exhale. Take another inhale, and then the exhale will slowly unwind you so that you turn the face forward. Take a moment, take a breath. And when you're ready, turn to the other side. Again, sitting up tall, inhale. Exhale, twist. Take 2 more breaths. And then your next exhale unwinds you. And you come back to center. Before we come to our final relaxation, we'll do a little bit of pranayama. Nadi Shodhanam, or alternate nostril breathing. So if you want to, if you don't, just take your breath normally. But you'll take your right hand and we'll be using the ring finger and your thumb. And what you're going to do is to close your right nostril with your thumb and your left nostril with your ring finger. If you're stuffy, you can just do it lightly or pretend. And we'll take a breath in for 4 through the left nostril as the right is closed. Close the left nostril and breathe out the right for 4. And then inhale the right for 4. Close the right nostril, exhale through the left for 4, and on for just a few breaths. So I will talk you through it. So your 2 fingers can either rest on your forehead or you could tuck them in. So I like to rest on my forehead. So you can close your eyes or set a soft gaze. We'll just begin by inhaling and exhaling. And then on your next inhale, close your right nostril with your thumb. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Close the left nostril. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale through the right. 2, 3, 4. Close the right. Exhale, left. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, left. 2, 3, 4. Close left. Exhale, right. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, right. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, left. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, left. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, right. 2, 3, 4. Inhale, right. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, left. 2, 3, 4. Release your hand. Breathe normally. And notice. Then from here, I invite you to get a little more comfortable. You can either switch chairs, go to a recliner or couch, or sit back, lean back in your chair. Maybe place something under your feet. And we'll come to Shavasana and a systematic relaxation. So you can either close your eyes or set a soft gaze. Let your breath be whatever it wants to be. Let your bones be heavy. Unclench your jaw. Allow your breath to soften around your ears and around your eyes. Soften your forehead. And just bring your awareness to the tip of your nose. Feel the cool breath come in and the warm breath leave. If at any point your mind begins to wander, which is completely normal, I invite you to come back to the sensation of your breath, of the cool air coming in, warm air leaving. Let each breath in feel nourishing, bringing in with it oxygen, all the chemicals that your body uses for all of its important functions. And then your exhale releases those things that you don't need, your body doesn't need. So it could be metaphorical, it could be literal. The breath in nourishes and the breath out releases. Notice the top of your head. As you continue to notice the nourishing breath in and releasing breath out. Drop your awareness to the space between your eyebrows. Just noticing that place. Try not to think about it, but feel it. Drop your awareness into your shoulders. Feel your shoulders. Drop your awareness down into your hands. Feeling your hands. Each breath in, bringing nourishment. And with each breath out, letting go a little bit further. And see if you can bring your awareness into your whole body at once. Feeling your whole body. The inhale nourishes, and the exhale lets go, releases, relaxes. Now pause this mental effort. Rest here, connecting with your breath just for a few more moments. And begin to deepen your breath. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Start bringing that gentle movement in to wrists, arms, legs, neck. Maybe taking a stretch up. Looks like you're waking up for the first time. Then take your hands and rub them, creating some warmth. Then once your hands are warm, place them somewhere on your body that would feel supportive and healing. Maybe your belly, your chest, your neck, your eyes, your low back. Breathe into the heat. Thanking your body, thanking yourself for supporting yourself, for making this time for yourself. if you want to bring your hands back to heart center or keep your hands on your body. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your practice. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you so very much. Flutter your eyes open. Come and shut off the recording. Thank you so much.